So for this project, I have used the same method for beginning all my granny squares, and in the center I've used the magic ring technique, which gives you this really neat center, and you can also make it really nice and small and quite tight. So I'm going to show you how to do this. You begin with about an 8-inch tail, and you're going to just wrap that over your first two fingers. So I'm just wrapping it from the bottom over to the top, and I'm just creating a cross. I can anchor that with my thumb, and then just turning it over, run that thread across my knuckles to create two parallel lines. Then lift my ring finger and run the yarn underneath that, and then I'm just anchoring it with my little finger. So we have those two parallel threads. With the crook of the hook, and I've got the crook of the hook facing down, I'm just going to run that underneath the first thread and pull through the second thread underneath. And as I do so, I'm just going to turn over the hook, so the crook of the hook is now facing up. I want to anchor this, so I'm going to use this thread here to anchor that in place. So I'm just going to run a slip stitch through, and now I can take my fingers out of the ring. And let's just look at the ring, what we have. So this is where the hook is, and my working yarn is coming off that. And then I have the ring where the thread has wrapped itself inside, and then coming out to the left is the tail. So I'm now ready to work into this ring my first round. So for this project, we're going to begin with 2 chain, which counts as the first stitch, and then into this ring I've got to work 11 treble stitches. So I'm just going to work those regularly into that ring, and as I do so, it's important that when you place the treble stitches, you go underneath both of those threads. So I'm going right into the middle of the ring and under those threads, so that when you create the stitches, you are almost covering over those threads. So I'm just going to run around, making sure I get to my total number. If you feel it gets a little bit big, the ring, it's easy to just gently pull the tail and it'll just close up that ring a little bit. So I'm going to keep going. So let me just count, see how many I've got. So that's my very first chain, so I'm counting that as my first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, 12. So that's my first round completed. And if I just lay that down, it doesn't yet look like a round. You can see they look quite stretched out, but this is the magic bit. We now are going to just pull this little tail gently, and as we pull it in, so the round tightens, and now you can see how that round has worked. And you can pull that quite tight in to the center until that's darned into the back. It might open up a little bit, but that can be darned in at a later stage. And that's your first round done, and now I'll be ready to show you in the next little video how to fasten that off.